2023 national. The candidates representing Africa. Miss Supranational Botswana. The costume symbolizes four sides of Botswana: diamonds, export, culture, and peace. Miss Supranational Cameroon. Cameroon is Africa in miniature because of its cultural diversity. The costume symbolizes strength, elegance, happiness, and royalty. Miss Supranational Côte d'Ivoire. The name of the costume is Nzassan. It is a cultural treasure due to its cultural, traditional, and ethnic diversity. Miss Supranational Ghana. The costume symbolizes womanhood while paying homage to the Krobo women, the tribe Miss Ghana comes from. Miss Supranational Kenya. The national costume is called the Kishuto, and it's the traditional dress of the Mijikenda, or the 9 tribes from the region of the country Miss Kenya is from. Miss Mauritius. Saga dress is a traditional dress worn by women in Mauritius during Saga dance performances. Miss Mozambique. The dress symbolizes peace, unity, and hope.
Without any rest, I wanna see you sing, I wanna see you fight.
Miss Supranational Namibia. The costume is called Desert Rose. It's a formation of crystal clusters which include sand grains from the Namibian Namib Desert.
Makes my body dance for ya.
Miss Supranational Nigeria. The dress has the motifs of palm tree, the Nigerian symbol of victory, peace, fertility, and growth.
Mama Africa, you follow the beat that she's
Miss Supranational South Africa. The costume symbolizes the African sun, blazing, dazzling, glowing, and radiant. Miss Supranational Togo. The costume is a symbol of Togo. The 2 young lions represent the courage of the Togolese people. Miss Supranational Zambia. Coming from the world's largest exporter of copper, Miss Zambia is honored to share the beauty of copper. Miss Supranational Zimbabwe, a representation of a gallant Ndebele princess warrior, ready to conquer the world and show the beauty of Zimbabwe to all people. Please welcome the candidates from the Americas. Miss Supranational Bolivia. The costume symbolizes the work of hundreds of embroidering hands, the big part of the Bolivian culture. Miss Supranational Brazil. The costume is a tribute to all flight attendants. A woman can fly as high as her heart desires. Miss Supranational Canada. Canada's costume reflects the ability to embrace cultural expression and inclusivity. Miss Supranational Colombia. The costume has the motifs of the Silveteros Parade, one of the most important traditional events at the Medellin Flowers Fair, where thousands of growers present the best of the wide variety of flowers from the Colombian garden. Miss Supranational Costa Rica. The fantasy costume is inspired by the Guaria Morada, the national flower of Costa Rica. Miss Supranational Ecuador. The costume symbolizes blue morpho butterfly, one of the biggest butterflies in the world. Miss Supranational El Salvador. El Salvador's costume represents Itzcuaya, the wife of Quetzalcoatl, deities of the Aztec culture. Miss Supranational Guatemala. The costume is inspired by the national flower of Guatemala. Miss Supranational Mexico. Mexico's dress is based on the clothing of a type of horseman called the charro. Miss Supranational Nicaragua. The costume represents the identity of the folklore festivals of Diriamba, Nicaragua. Miss Supranational Panama. The costume is inspired by the Corpus Christi festivities in Panama. Miss Supranational Paraguay. The costume represents the bellbird, the national bird of Paraguay, which is in danger of extinction. Miss Supranational Peru. The costume is inspired by the Andean cock of the rock, the national bird of Peru. Miss Supranational United States. This piece is the modern and feminine interpretation of Uncle Sam. Supranational Venezuela. The costume symbolizes the drums of Venezuela. Please welcome the candidates representing Asia. Miss Supranational Cambodia. The costume is excerpted from the Khmer literary work of Rimker that portrays the character of Priya Rim. Miss Supranational Hong Kong. This two-layered costume is called A Woman Who Carried 3 Generations. Supranational India. The flora and fauna of India depicted through its feminine energy, combining strength with grace. Miss Supranational Indonesia. The costume symbolizes Waikambas, which is a national park in Lampung province, which is home to the preservation of the Sumatran elephant and other animals that are now endangered. Miss Supranational Japan. The costume is inspired by the famous and tallest Mount Fuji, commonly called Fujisan. Miss Supranational Korea. The name of Korean traditional clothes is hanbok. Now, this costume is one of the many kinds of hanbok and is the robes of the royal family. Miss Supranational Malaysia. The glorious elegance of Dayak. The national costume is inspired by the Dayak people of Borneo Island. Miss Supranational Nepal. Eastern civilization is believed to have started in the lap of the Himalayas with its unique rhododendron forest and Lophophorus bird. Miss Supranational Philippines. The costume is called the Rebirth of the Eternal, a modern take on a classic Filipiniana. The Filipiniana symbolizes pride, strength, and the willingness of a Filipina to fight for her own freedom. Miss Supranational Thailand. The costume symbolizes the practice of Nana Thong, also known as the Golden Face, which is considered the ultimate devotion to the Buddhist virtues. Miss Supranational Vietnam. This is a line of folk paintings of the south of Vietnam, the unique art of painting on the glass. The candidates representing the Caribbean. Miss Supranational Cayman Islands. The costume is inspired by the coat of arms of the Cayman Islands. Miss Supranational Cuba. The costume symbolizes peacock. With its lively bedded feathers, the peacock is a representation of the biodiversity and beauty of Cuba. Miss Supranational Curaçao. The costume is called Kaya Kaya. Kaya Kaya is a festival and community building tool in Curaçao, focusing on the cleanup and beautification of the Ultrabanda district. Miss Supranational Dominican Republic. This wonderful work of art is inspired by Ramon Matias Mela, one of Dominican Republic's patriotic fathers of the homeland, who fought for the freedom of the country. Miss Supranational Haiti. Haiti's national costume is inspired by La Sirène. In Haitian folklore, La Sirène is the queen of all mermaids. Miss Supranational Jamaica. An outfit made of bandana fabric, which is known to be Jamaica's national costume.
Salaman girl straight up, right Gucci mama, make we party non-stop in a island banda. Swing those hips and back it up to me ragga.
Miss Supranational Puerto Rico. The national costume is inspired by the national flower of Puerto Rico, better known as maga flower. Miss Supranational Bahamas. The costume is a celebration of a cultural tradition called the Goombay Mama, in honor of the Bahamas' 50th independence anniversary. Miss Supranational Trinidad and Tobago. This distinctive traditional character is known for its robber talk, derived from the tradition of the African griot or storyteller. This robber comes to reclaim all that was once stolen from her: dignity, power, voice, and freedom. Please welcome the candidates representing Europe. Miss Supranational Belgium. The costume symbolizes the cherry tree in bloom. It's a very popular tree in Belgium. Miss Supranational Croatia. The dress represents Croatia's mountains and the sea. Miss Supranational Czech Republic. The inspiration for the costume is the traditional Czech porcelain pattern. Miss Supranational Finland. The costume reflects Finland's beautiful lakes, wonderful water currents, and nature. Miss Supranational Germany. This German national costume was inspired by the German fairy tale authors, the Grimm brothers. One of their most famous fairy tales is The Little Red Riding Hood. Miss Supranational Gibraltar. This design has been inspired by Gibraltar's British heritage as well as its military history, as an homage to culture and the history of how Gibraltar came to be. Miss Supranational Greece. The Kostu is the woman from Pontus. The presence of the Greeks in the area of the Pontus goes back from ancient times to the present day. Miss Supranational Iceland. Iceland is a global leader in environmental issues and this past year was named one of the top 20 cleanest countries in the world. Miss Supranational Netherlands. Orange is the national color of the Netherlands. Miss Supranational Poland. The inspiration for this creation were red beds, the most characteristic addition to women's fall costume used to this day, especially in the Malopolska region. Miss Supranational Portugal. The costume symbolizes the world-famous Portuguese tiles. Miss Supranational Romania. From the heart of Transylvania, this is a national costume that reminds of the most popular and original vampire in the world, Dracula. Miss Supranational Slovakia. The folk clothing of the Novohrad region stands out for its wide variety and abundance of patterns, as well as its distinct cuts and choice of materials. Miss Supranational Spain. The national costume of Spain is the most internationally recognized traditional attire. It represents the candidate's love for her land. Miss Supranational Turkey. The costume is inspired by Göbekli Tepe. It is referred as the 0 point in time because it is known as the beginning of the modern civilization. Miss Supranational Ukraine. The main reason for the creation of this gown is Ukrainian children who were taken out of Ukraine due to the war. Miss Supranational United Kingdom. The costume symbolizes the Big Ben, one of the UK's most iconic landmarks and the world's most famous clock.